what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up, this is Joyce Bell here on the Baligian and Bell show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, welcome in. Listen, I'm getting right into it because something happened about 15 seconds ago. And I mean this. Tom, I hope you take this the right way. I've never met a human being that is more infatuated with other people's birthdays than Tom Mazaway. I've in my entire lifetime, there is never, because and Tom, again, please take this the right way. Like for me, I think I stopped caring about my birthday when I was 13. I think like honestly, and then what happens is like when you're a parent, then the kids make a big deal about your birthday, so you have to pretend that it means a lot to you. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just another day. Like ladies, we don't care. I don't want to speak for Joyke and Terry. I'll let them talk on. We don't care about our birthday. We don't. We have to play it up and thank you, kids. You remember I don't care about my birthday. So we're literally. Art's yelling out 15 seconds, and Maz goes, don't forget, it's Terry Foster's birthday tomorrow. And Terry's reaction was, yep. Like, it meant nothing to Terry.
But you know what? We tried to keep your birthday a secret when we were kids because on your birthday, they'd punch you in the arm.
Yeah.
So you never want anyone to know. Then there was always a little kid. Hey, it's T's birthday tomorrow. Oh, really? Let's punch his ass in the arm. I hated that.
You hated it? Toughen you up a little bit.
So, listen, happy birthday in advance to Terry Foster. I hope you have a wonderful day.
I do,
so
too.
how old was you? Was 72?
Almost. 62.
62. Oh, I was close.
Thought I was 72.
Joy.
What an ass.
Joy, what a dagger.
Wow.
Now,
And
you know what?
black
He
don't
saw
crack.
me.
Yeah. I think I'm 72.
You know what? Honestly, I would have said 52. Honestly, but but black people age, they can be deceiving sometimes. So he could have been, he could have been 52. He could have been 81.
I'm not touching that. I'll let you talk on that.
Yeah,
you go right ahead.
Trying to clean it up. That's all right.
Clean it up. I'm trying to clean it up like that fresh cut you got. Did you go to Lady Jane's for that? You see that Subway?
Oh, that was a nice segue. It was a nice segue.
I do not get cuts anymore.
You see it?
But I just get my beard trimmed.
Yeah.
I haven't in a while.
You haven't in a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm overdue for one of those.
So,
too.
what do you have? What are your plans for tomorrow? What are you doing?
My plans are I'm hoping to have a margarita.
Where are you going for that margarita? Are you making it at home? Or are you going out?
I'm going to a Mexican place. There's a place
Mexican
I like.
town?
No, not going to Mexican town. There's a place in Pontiac. Well, it's an actual Waterford.
Oh, it's in the Yak. Okay.
And then the wife and I are going to get barbecue.
Oh, at Sean's house?
No, not at Sean's. We're going to go to a actual restaurant. And then we're going to watch a movie, HBO. It's called Judas. It's about the Black Panthers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're going to check that out.
Okay.
And then probably fall asleep.
See, that's a birthday.
It's a birthday.
That's a birthday.
I'll be asleep before midnight.
God bless him. Yes, that's what it's. It's almost like, you know what, Father's Day. We have this discussion every year, Father's Day at my house. It's like, okay, Dad, what do you want to do today? You know what? Can I fire up my barbecue, watch the Tigers, take a nap at some point in time during the Tigers game, and just chill at home? No, we have to go do something. Then why are you asking me what I want to do?
Yeah, because
Why are we having this conversation?
They want to make your day happy.
They want to make you happy. They want you to do something outside your norm. That's what you do on a normal day.
They don't want to make me happy.
Here's what I tell them.
They want you to know that you feel appreciated.
Leave me alone.
Did you hear him? That's the truth. That's what's your quote? That's real talk.
That is real.
That's real talk.
Dad
right
don't
there.
want to see you today.
Right, first of all, let's just put a heart right there. That's not my saying. I don't say it like that. Art, please retract that from the show.
I'll cut it from the show. I got you. I got you.
That's not what I say. And please, is that? Oh, you talking about Terry?
Yeah,
I said that. I said just leave me alone.
That's real talk.
Real talk.
That's real talk.
What I'm saying is that's real talk. You said like I was saying.
That's real talk.
That's real. That's what I'm
That's how
talking
we do
about.
in Benny Ha or whatever the heck
How's
it is.
up,
you say.
baby?
Hold on. It's not whatever the heck it is. It's Benton Harbor, and from people from there, we don't really say the T in Benton Harbor. We say Ben Hob.
Benton.
Yeah, Ben Hob.
Benton.
Ben Hob.
Benton Harbor.
It's just what it is. People from there, that's how they
You
pronounce
can't teach cool, man.
No, but did you hear
can't-
what Terry said?
And that's like the Oakland when they L. David. You can't teach speed. You can't teach what? Art.
You can't teach cool.
No, you can't.
And Sean's over here like, I will go to the Benton Harbors.
Now, were you big time enough to be able to go out with a woman from Dowagiac?
To do what?
It's
Dowagiac. Isn't that near Benton Harbor?
Oh, this the
Dowagiac. Sorry.
Yeah, the Wajak. Well, now big time enough to do what?
To go out with a woman from Dowagiac.
Because
I heard they're a little bougie.
Oh, really? Is there
Yeah.
some of that going on now?
With Benton Harbor
Like-
people. Because, Benton Harbor, they are...
look, no. He will make say, no. It just rolls off the tongue a little bit better, doesn't it? Ben Hob.
It does, Benton Harbor.
Ben Hob.
You're saying Benton. Benton.
Benton.
Ben
Oh,
Hob.
no, you didn't go to Benton. Is it like that? No? I'm trying.
Sean, hey, listen, man. I'm working with Sean, man. He means no harm, man. It's been Harbor, so he means no harm. I promise
Well,
you.
it's kind of like people who are not from Michigan. They call it Detroit
Yep,
City.
absolutely.
They call it what?
Detroit City.
Well, and like some of the roads around here, they're
from the D.
when there are people, and
Right.
Terry and I have worked in radio for many years, and so what happens is sometimes you'll get somebody from Benton Harbor, and they come in to do our traffic or whatever, and you hear them read the roads, and
Gratuit instead of Gratiot.
you cringe.
You know what?
You literally cringe.
Yes.
Merriman.
Yeah.
Merriman Road. No, he's not a Merriman. It's Merriman. Right? And that it makes you cringe.
Yeah, I'll give you a story, though. But before then, I was out somewhere, and somebody asked me where I was from. I said, I live in the D. I'm from the D. But, nobody knows Benton Harbor outside of Michigan. So if I'm out, I've been here 15 plus years. So, I'm from Detroit. And so I see I'm from the D. And I say, oh, somebody, and people usually know that's Detroit. I said that, you know what they said? This particular person, you know what they said? Oh, you from Dallas? I said, wait, what? What?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We are the D. Dallas is Big D.
Yeah. Big D, the D.
Yeah, no.
Big D, the D.
Yeah, like
Different.
the D. Like we're the real D. Like we're Detroit. We're the D. And it got a full blown argument. We blew it up. And so the story about how people come to Detroit and they can't pronounce the street. I was in college and my cousin came out to visit. Him and like me, him, and my roommate, we all grew up together. And so he gets to the city, and my roommate doesn't really know Detroit yet. He had just came; it was his first year here, and he gave me the phone, and he picked up the phone. He said, "Hey, I'm lost." I said, "Where are you?" He said, I can picture him looking at the sign as he was telling me where he was. I'm on I'm on Grady Street. I said Grady. Grady. I'm like, I never heard of Gratiot. Yeah. Gratiot. We died laughing. We died laughing. I'll never forget it.
I need to go back a couple minutes ago though, because like I'm telling you, women out there, all right, and it's too late for somebody like me. It's not my birthday. It's their birthday whenever my birthday comes around. But Terry is telling the truth, and I've said this to my family. You know what I want for leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do. Just one day. Like where do you want to go to dinner? Where do you want to go on vacation? I'm always wherever you want. Whatever sounds great. But that one day, Terry, and seriously, you guys, I'm telling you the truth. Leave me alone. Like that doesn't mean you don't have to be around.
Yeah, but
I
you know
want
what?
You around.
Dads get screwed because finally I'll agree. They said, "Well, we want to take you to dinner. Where do you want to go?" I want to go to this restaurant. I don't like that restaurant. So they end up picking anyway.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. So you might as well just say, just leave me alone. I want to chill out. I want to watch TV, watch a game or something.
I got the double whammy, Terry. I have Father's Day and my birthday are always like that. They're that close. So I get the double whammy. And it's just like, I always say, what are we doing on my birthday this year? You know, I mean, really, that's what. But Maz, God bless you. That made all of us laugh 15 seconds before the show. Don't forget, it's Terry's birthday tomorrow. Terry with the least enthusiastic, yeah, I've ever
Maz
heard.
is the little kid on the playground that just picks with everybody. And then when you pick on him, he's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. That wasn't very nice. He just stirs it up.
You know, I'm interested to hear both of your take on the Matthew Stafford stuff going down yesterday. I mean, and it's interesting because there's two unique perspectives here. One from, you know, a columnist, a journalist in this town, and one from that was a teammate, obviously, with Matthew Stafford. Nothing surprised me. There was nothing that I heard in there that, you know, was surprised at all. Terry, I know you and I hadn't talked about this, but I told these guys when we were talking in late November, it wasn't what Matthew Stafford said. It's what he didn't say that made me think that he was going someplace else. So anything jump out to you about the conversations of the last day?
I thought he was leaving not because of things he didn't or did say. It was because of Mama Stafford. Mm-hmm. She seemed like she wanted out of here. And they sold the house, and she was bitching about, the governor, bitching about the Lions, bitching about the league. I said, she's talking to him saying, Dad, we got to get out of here. And finally he said, yep, you're right. That's what I take out of it. It's what she did. It's what she said.
That wasn't the case. The reason that she wanted to sell her house, right, because they had just had they have, 4 kids now?
Was the house too small?
No, it wasn't that the house was too small. It was that they were on a lake and it was on the water. And she didn't want to have the kids around that, right? Because you have 4 kids, and it was just a safety hazard. And she just wanted to move into another house that wasn't on the water. That was her point when I spoke with her, and the information that I got. That was okay.
There wasn't another house in the Metro Detroit area not on the lake.
Yeah, she was. That's why she wanted to sell the house and move into another house that wasn't on the lake. It wasn't that she wanted to get out of Michigan.
But they bought a house like 3,000 miles away.
Where she's from?
I thought it was another sign that she wanted out of here because she, not just that, but kind of complaining about the organization, complaining about the NFL, how Matthew was treated and everything.
Do they still have a house? Do they still have that house here?
No.
Huh?
I thought they got rid of it.
What they sold it to?
They bought a house in L.A.
No, what I'm saying is, the house that they owned here. Mm-hmm. Do they still have that house in their possession? Do they still own it on paper?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're still in it.
I know they put it up for sale. I
don't know
if
it's up for sale.
Yeah, I don't know if it's sold.
They haven't sold it yet, right? And when did they buy that house in L.A.? After he went there or before?
Before.
All
right,
long before.
All right, so they bought the house long before. Do they love L.A.? They can't have a house there if they want to?
They can.
They can't have multiple properties across?
I'm saying not just that, but other signs when you hear her talk and her Instagram and all that stuff, she seemed like someone whispering to Matthew, I'm tired of the Lions.
Was she tired of the Lions, or was she tired of being cooped up in the house and businesses taking hits, so she was being a voice for people who don't have a voice?
No, the whole I feel sorry for people who lost their jobs through COVID, so I'm going to move out is baloney, because the same thing applies in L.A. The same thing applies in every city in the nation. That part I can't buy. Oh, I just feel sorry for the people.
But weren't the restaurants still open? Weren't they still open in
They were open. LA? They were closed. People were losing their jobs.
Not in L.A. They were still closed out in L.A.
They were still closed?
Yeah, they were still closed out in L.A. Yeah.
'Cause I was out in L.A. I went to a couple of restaurants.
That's part of the issue with their governor, not to go down that road. Gavin Newsom has been very ripped apart because some restaurants were open for the more well-to-do and some restaurants were not open. And so there's been a crap show of scorn that has been thrown upon him for that. You know what I mean?
Plus, if a restaurant is open at 25% capacity, you're not exactly rolling in the money.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not. And that's here.
You know what? From a football standpoint, one of the things that he said that was music to my ears, because I've told you I'm tired of the Lion routine, and you know what I mean by the Lion routine. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of people talking about 7, 8, 9 wins being good enough. I'm sick of it. I've been sick of
It's
it.
good enough for the next 2 years.
And you know what? Did you hear what he said? What Matthew said is he said, hey, listen, I might be the difference between winning 7, 8, 9 games, because I can do enough to get us to that point, but I can't do it all by myself to get us to that next level. And I'm sorry, that's music to my ears. And Terry, I'm going to bring up something. I don't even know if you remember writing this. I loved when you said during the Millen regime that after a couple years, we got beaten down, right? We got beaten down, and then all of a sudden you go 9-7, and everybody's going to go, hot damn, Matt Millen's getting it done. What? What? When you wrote that, I was like literally pumping my fist.
Well, thank you. I think what happened in that case is the Lions were winning 9 games before he got. In fact, he came in. They were 9-7.
9-7
when he came in, and then you went down to 4, 5 games, 2 games, and everything. Then 1 year 9-7, and people are like celebrating. I said, no, don't do that.
Yep.
What's wrong with y'all?
It drives me nuts. I mean, so it took you years not even to get back to the point that you were at when he took over. But somehow, because you improved from 4 to 7 wins, everybody's going, hot damn, it's coming together now.
Hot diggity dog.
Right? Like, what are we doing here? And that's unfortunately been the Lion mantra for so many years.
It is, but here's the one word I never hear anybody from the Lions talk about. Starts with a C. Championship. I never hear anybody say, I'm here to win championships. I'm here to kick ass. I'm here to go to the Super Bowl. When you hear that, is that something similar to who was that? Harbaugh at U of M? No one has it better than us. Yeah. Is that what's the difference? But he was here to win championships. He's not doing it. He won a bunch of games. That's why his ass
that was an issue with a few people here at the station.
But that's why his ass was on the hot seat.
No, 1,000%. Do you want me to stand by it? When you tell people who's got it better than us and you consistently fail, people are going to make fun of you.
So would you rather a coach come in and say that we're going to get to the Super Bowl and continue to fail?
No, but it's a totally different situation because when you're talking about the Detroit Lions, this has been, it pains me to say it, the worst franchise in the NFL. I mean, that's a fact. I'm not being mean when I say that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I hope fans understand that. I grew up loving this team. I think everybody knows that. But you also have to be cognizant about what you are. You should talk about winning champions. But after a few years, if you're not winning championships, you should be held accountable for it.
There's going to be a few years and we're not going to win one here.
It's going to be more than a few years. Yeah. I'm with you.
All right.
It's 100%.
But even ownership, it says, we want to win some ball games. Everybody wins ball games. That doesn't mean anything to me. They never talk about taking this franchise to the next level and compete. At least they compete for Super Bowls, compete for championships. That's not in their mindset. Because if they finish 9-7 and make it to the playoffs, guess what? Ford Field is full. People are jumping in fountains, having a good time. They're saying, these are my Lions. And then that's good enough. It's my ball club,
My beloved Lions.
I want to go back to the Michigan thing, and Terry, this is an analogy, and I don't know if I've thrown this at Joik, but I'll throw this at you, and I wish our mutual friend Drew Sharp was here because I could hear him snicker right now.
He cackles.
If I went back to 2015 and told one of the biggest Michigan fans I know, Tom Mazaway, I show up in front of Tom Mazaway and I go, Maz, I just got back from 2021. I just returned. I'm in 2021. I want to tell you something. 6 years from now, Michigan hasn't won anything under Jim Harbaugh. Nothing. They've won nothing. Maz, what would you have said to me back in 2015? He would have told me I'm number one.
I told you number one.
But he didn't use his index finger, right?
I mean, what finger did he use? Was it his ring finger or pinky?
It wasn't his ring finger. It wasn't his pinky, and it wasn't his index finger. And it wasn't his thumb.
Well, it's the longest finger he's got.
No, so Joy, do you understand what I'm saying? So we're 6 years in now, and after hearing all this stuff from not just fans, let's be honest, a lot of people in the media. Well, if you haven't won anything and your season falls flat on its face like it did last year, what are we supposed to say?
That was his worst season last year.
Golly gee, go get him, Jim. Next year will be the year.
That's what they told him with that contract.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know who had Jim Harbaugh had the longest honeymoon in Detroit area history.
1,000%.
Because when he came in, Harbaugh's going to win multiple championships. He's going to kick Ohio State's ass. He's going to beat Michigan State, no problem. Didn't happen. And then finally, like 2 years ago, people was like, okay, no Big Ten championships. You haven't beaten Ohio State. And then they turned on his ass. But any other coach would have gotten the heat 4 or 5 years earlier.
100%. Terry, and you know what? When guys like you or me were saying this, if I had a dime for the amount of times I was called hater for saying things like that, I'd be a rich man. I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys right now. And that's, like, to me, that's the point that I'm making. I didn't make those numbers up. I didn't have those seasons. I didn't have those expectations. None of that is my fault. But at the same time, I'm not doing my job unless I say, hey, wait a second. Where are all those championships? Where are all those wins against Ohio State?
Right. And you're called a hater.
They're non-existent.
That's exactly it.
And they call you a
it's a
hater.
talent issue, though. Why can't we get we talked about this on the show. Why can't we get the talented players here?
I see, and this is, Joik, I'll answer it the exact same way. When you set up a day, whether it's for craps and giggles or otherwise, and you call it signing of the stars, and you tell everybody that you just signed this unbelievable class that is going to bring Michigan back to greatness, that's also not my fault. That's not my fault.
And you got to develop players.
Yeah,
you just can't bring in talent and they stay the same.
Well, they made some changes this year with the firing of the DC and hiring in a new one. So
this is like year one.
So we could say this is like year one. We're starting over now. We're starting over fresh because that defense.
You see the look on
I'm gonna tell you right now, because defensively was one of the weakest points of them. The offense needs some work, but defensively they needed some work. All right. Do you think?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Talent-wise, I think they have some talent. They have some things they can work with. But aside from all of that, right, that defensive coordinator coming in and putting those players in position to make plays, that's going to be the biggest thing.
Here's part of the problem with that. This would be my response to that. When I was told for years that Don Brown is the greatest defensive coordinator in the history of defensive coordinators, pardon me if I don't giggle. Do you understand? And
Did you feel that way when he first got the job?
Don Brown, that first year, that was a legit defense. Really the second year. 2016, that was a legit defense. That was a legit team. The one thing that I did notice is in some of those bigger matchups, whether it be against Ohio State, whether it be, in particular that year, the bowl game against Florida State, is they got lit up, and that was alarming. That was a red flag that went up. Okay, they're doing a good job against some of the less than teams, but when they're playing Ohio State, when they're playing Florida State, when they're playing the good teams, those numbers are going up. And that was a red flag, in my humble opinion, nobody paid attention to.
But the thing is, when you look at the Big Ten, what offenses do you fear? Ohio State? Yep. Indiana? Yeah, but their defense usually sucks, even though it was good this year. Northwestern? Nah. Michigan State's going to control it, but I don't fear their offense. Maybe when Kirk Cousins was there. Purdue? No, the whole basketball on grass. There's a bunch of offenses that if you have the talent that Michigan had, you can shut them down. But you can't shut down Ohio State. You can't shut down Alabama. You can't shut down Oklahoma. What Michigan is, it's a cute program. I'm going to call it cute. It's one of the better programs in the nation, but it's not elite. For instance, if they talk about the super conference. If they do the super conference, Michigan is not in it.
No.
It stays in the Big Ten.
No. Absolutely. I mean, again, I think because we grew up in an era where we're so used to Michigan being something, the last 20 years has been strange for a lot of people to swallow. Does that make sense? I love what Steve said here about Coach Campbell here in Detroit. Look, we all know they're going to stink next year, okay? There are a few people on here that disagree with us. That's fine. They're always going to be the guys, the sun is always going to shine and all that stuff. That's fine. I hope you're right, all of that, okay? But if you talk about how tough you're going to be, if you talk about you're going to be biting kneecaps and stuff, and you come out and you're Charmony soft, is it my fault that I point out, hey, wait a second, where's that team that you said you were going to be? Where's that team that is going to be biting kneecaps and fighting and scratching and clawing at everything?
But he put a caveat on there that's going to allow him to stink next season. that's going to be our mentality. Doesn't mean you're going to do it. That's going to be our mentality. He threw that in.
Yeah.
So he left himself an out to stink the next 2 or 3 years or whatever.
But he knows that, though. He knows it. The same way he knew that Stafford was going to be gone, but he left a way out of that as well.
Right.
All right. So he's very smart with his words. I just want him to be that smart on the field when it comes to play calling and running this team. That's all I want.
Yeah.
He won a press conference. I loved it. I love the mentality. I love the energy. I love what he brings to this team. And I love the people that he's surrounding himself around. So.
Now the hard work comes. Right? Really, that's where we're at. You can talk a big game.
It is, but a lot of the hard work has been done right now with this Hall of Fame draft of coaches we have, and that's hard.
Do you like the staff, Terry? Do you like the staff putting together a staff the way they have?
I like the idea of having a bunch of people who played in the league. I don't know enough about them, but I like the fact that he's bringing ex-players and stuff. I like the coordinators.
He's not just bringing in ex-players. He's bringing in coaches and players who they had experience playing and they had experience in coaching. So it's not like they're coming like they're newbies. Some of these coaches have been in the league coaching for over a decade or more. So I love it. I love it.
Are you a little hesitant over there?
You know what? I am, because I'm jaded. I've lived with this my entire lifetime, 100%. I want to believe that this is going to be different because they are doing things differently. But I like what Steve said. Talk is as free as air. I mean, we've heard so many things in our lifetime about how, Terry, I was telling these guys about when the Lions finally won the Central Division in 1991. And they had, do you remember Restore the Roar was the big.
Yes, indeed.
And then they came out with a hat afterward that just said restored. Yeah. Like it was over. It was done. This 1 year changed everything about this franchise. Subsequently, the Lions haven't won another playoff game since then and have won more division in 1993. So I think because I've been down this road before, the Lions are the ultimate I'll believe it when I see it. I like what's happening, but I'm not diving all in until I have to see it.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Tom put on here that I think Deuce Staley is their most underrated hire. I'm gonna agree with that because you have a guy who's played in the league. He's been with one team for the past decade, and even when Andy Reid left, he was that good of a coach that they still kept him on staff when they brought in a new regime. That's the type of guy he is. He coached under one of the most prolific coaches in Ted Williams, right, at running back coach. Moved him to tight end coach, made Deuce Staley the head running back coach. Now he comes to Detroit after winning the Super Bowl with the Eagles, right, and bringing that culture over. And what did Tampa Bay do? They went out and they got somebody who's been there before. They went out and got Tom Brady. Took him to a championship. Now, he's a player, and this is a coach. It's different. But at the same time, he's been there before. This is what we did to get there. This is the type of culture we built. He's bringing that over to Detroit. I love it.
You know what the problem is? Somebody brought this up. We're building something good here. Steve Mariucci. What? Steve Mariucci's here? From the San Francisco 49ers? He, of those crystal blue eyes, deep as the waters of Lake Superior, a Michigan guy coming home to coach the Lions and the hype machine that started from that, and it was over like that.
I know, but I'm going to defend Steve Mariucci because I think players were definitely upset that they didn't perform for him to keep their job. They were convinced this was the guy. They had him, and they fucked up. The other thing, Steve Mariucci did not like his quarterback.
He
did not like Joey Harrington.
Not at all.
He was like, oh, I got this clown. So he doesn't like his quarterback. He's got a team that's underachieving, and he's under Matt Millen. What chance did he have here?
Didn't have a chance. You know what the problem is too, Terry? I mean, we were still at that point in time where there were people until the bitter end that believed that Joey Harrington was the answer. I mean, that was really, you were working in talk radio at the same time. I mean, I was besieged with people, and I'm going, what more do you need to see out of this guy? He's not an NFL quarterback.
I have a question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
And you'll know this before I would. Who was the last head coach for the Detroit Lions that was fired? They got a head coaching job somewhere else.
Hasn't happened.
It's never happened.
Hasn't happened. We're waiting for Coach Caldwell. I think a lot of people think that Caldwell might be the guy.
You know what's funny? I had a person reach out to me from Tennessee, asking me for Coach Caldwell information because they wanted to bring him in for the head coaching job or interview him for the head coaching job there. And so I reached out to Coach Caldwell and said, Coach, you mind if I, give out your information? I don't want to, give it out without your blessing. He said, no problem. Just give it out. I appreciate you. And so that's on the college level, right? I know he had an interview with the Texans. I would hate for him to go into that situation. I'm glad he didn't go into that situation. I'm glad he didn't. He has enough, he just got healthy again. I don't want him to go back into a situation like that where it's causing extra stress on him. I want him to walk into a situation that I think he can get another head coaching job somewhere in the NFL. Does he want to? Does he want it? I don't know. It comes a time to where a guy says, I want to retire from coaching. And then when you retire, you're at home and you're with the kids and the grandkids and you're with the wife and you guys are traveling. And then when you come home, it's just.
The Pines of Carolina are beautiful. Trust me. I've been down there.
It's quiet and, you might turn on the TV and you might see a game on and the next thing you know what, I do kind of miss it. I do. All right, let me see. I had Frank Novak. Do you know Frank Novak, Tom? You know Frank Novak? Special team coach. Frank Novak retired, but couldn't stay away from the game. He coached me in college. He came back. He was volunteering in the coaching in the coaching room, and I used to love the way he spoke. I mean, the wisdom that guy had, the way he talked, just inspired you. We used to love when he spoke, like when he speak to the team. And he had one saying, "That's the way you bring the wood." That's the way you bring the wood. And it's guys like that they miss the game, but they always kind of find their way back into the game. And so for the coaches that coached for Detroit that never had a head coaching job anywhere else, now is that a testament to the way they coach, or is that the testament to the Detroit culture and other teams that want that culture brought to their franchise?
I think that guys the head coach of the Lions, it is such a disaster when they leave that other teams are afraid to hire them. I think Wayne Fonts may have been able to get a head coaching job, but he didn't want to coach. He just wanted to get his little $1 million house on the lagoon down in Florida and chill out. But the other guys, I think Mariucci could get a head coaching job, but
I will tell you this about Mariucci.
He's with the NFL Network, so he's chilling out.
This is one thing I heard. This is one thing I heard about him. The people, not only the players, but the people who worked under him, and not even the coaching staff, the people that say like the player developer, people in the front office. I would talk to these people, and I would ask them like, "Who's the best coach you've ever played for?" And they worked under, and they said, "Well, I love Mariucci. I'll die for that man. I'll go to war for him." This is what they're telling me out of their mouth, not from. I'm talking directly to people who worked with them, and so you have these type of guys that people are willing to go out and battle for and die for, but they can't get a job anywhere else. For people to be able to affect a man to a point to where they're willing to win for you, right?
Here's the thing. We're up against a break. In fact, we're way overdue. I want to continue this conversation. Terry, you're more than welcome to stay. You know that. You stay as long as you want. I love having you here.
You just got to
I
keep
know
wearing
the
that
people
hat.
love
We love that
having
hat.
you here. It's funny you mention that because there's a guy who was an utter disaster here as a head coach, but it was amazing to me how many people talk this guy up. And we'll talk about that when we come back. Don't you go anywhere. This is Woodward Sports. Joik Bell, Terry Foster in the house. I'm Sean Baligian. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. We'll be back, Woodward Sports, on a Thursday afternoon.
That's the way to bring the wood.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
All right, welcome back in. So glad you can join us. Obviously talking about Matthew Stafford in the presser. I mean, surprising nobody. What else did you expect to hear and everything? Before we went to the break, we were talking about coaches and how this – I mean, look, the Lions have been a graveyard. I mean, there's no other way to say that. Terry, I don't know if you had conversations about this guy back in the day, and everybody has their imitation about this guy. Marty Mornhinweg, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Complete disaster here. I mean, it just had no business being a head coach. I have had guys tell me back then, and even to this day, that Marty was brilliant, but just wasn't a head coach. And it's funny because if you remember, his name kind of hopped back up. He had such a good reputation around the league as an offensive coordinator. I thought for a little while maybe he's going to get an opportunity, but then I think what eventually happened is what you said. They looked at those teams and what a disaster those teams were, and they said, we can't hire this guy as our head coach.
Yeah, and don't hire Marty Mornhinweg unless he's your offensive coordinator. Yep. He's a very good offensive mind, but everybody can't be a leader of organizations, a leader of men, and that's just not his style. So if you want to get him in the coaching room and design plays, that's your guy. But if you're going to ask him to watch out over everybody, delegate authority to everybody, that's not Marty Mornhinweg. And I never thought he would get a job. I think Mariucci could get another job if Mariucci ever wanted to leave the NFL Network. But see, Mooch is having too much fun. When you watch him on NFL Network, he's giggling and having a good time, getting paid, and that's the only guy. But I think I don't want to do it. It's like Bill Cowher. Everybody's trying to get him out of retirement every year. Bill's not even close to coming back to the league. He don't want to do it. He could. Mooch could, but I'm having a good time. So
Jimmy Johnson's another one. Jimmy Johnson, it was funny when you mentioned Wayne. That was the first. I think Jimmy Johnson, once that, by his standards, disaster ended in Miami, he just said, I got my money. I'm going to go I might buy part of the Florida Keys and just fish and eat tortilla chips all day. He's been living life for the last 20 years. He could have jumped back. I'm sure he probably got 100 calls, but Jimmy was like exactly what you said about Wayne. No, you know what? I'm going to fish. I'm going to eat some tortilla chips, and I'm going to drink my Corona. And Jimmy Johnson has a cushy gig that I'm sure is paying him a lot of money to do this much for Fox. Are you kidding me? What at that point in time, why would you jump back?
Why?
Why do you go?
Is it for the love of the game or is it for the love of the money?
Well, why work 22 hours when you can work 4 days and still get a 7-figure salary? I think that's what happens with some of these guys. Yeah, I like coaching and everything, but damn, those days were long and I didn't see my family.
You didn't see your family, and that's what you sacrifice. There's things you have to sacrifice, right? It's do I want to go to the stadium? And I saw a comment in here yesterday where they talked about they wanted me to tap on the hours that the coaches put in. The players, we might put in about 10 to 12 hour days. All right, get there at 6, leave the facility about 4:30, 5 o'clock, go home and getting your iPad for another hour to 2 hours, going over certain things. Then you got to spend some time with the family as well. So it's broken. So it's kind of broken up. You get home around 6, you spend time with the fam, you spend time with the kids, and then boom, now you're into your playbook when you put them down, and you wake up, you do it again the next day. These coaches, it's not that simple. They're there at 5 in the morning. They're leaving at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Some coaches are sleeping there overnight. I gave you the story about one of my coaches, how they sold their house and moved in the facility and just put a cot in their room and stayed there 24/7, would just go visit their family on the weekends they had off. The hours that they had to put in is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And people ask me, do I want to go into coaching? I don't have a desire to. Could I do it? Probably could.
Unless Ndamukong Suh comes back.
And then I'll do something with the team.
You got that, yeah.
And then I'll do something with the team. But like I said, I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I said I don't have the desire to. All right.
Wasn't Jim Schwartz's name thrown around a lot? Now, I don't know how real interest was from other teams, but if you remember when he left, and especially when he went into Philly and they had some success, Schwartz's name was thrown around a lot.
Yeah. I remember Schwartz. He made a comment when we all played. We all looked around like, that's not true. We was in a team meeting, and he said something like, you notice when guys leave the team, when guys leave the Lions, they don't have success at other places. And we're thinking like, that's not true. That is not true. And Sue winning the Super Bowl just proved that. I love Schwartz though, man. I'll tell you this much, he was much harder on the defense than he was the offense. He was. But I love Schwartz too. So I love that mentality. I remember we'll be getting off the bus, and we'll be heading into the stadium before a game. Say it's a away game, so we're getting off the bus from the hotel. And he gets off the bus with his shades on, with his custom-made suit, got his Louis Vuitton roller bag. He rolling it in, and we get off. We go. I said, well, you can't hide money, huh? He said, no, you can't hide it. You can't hide it.
I was going to say the only guy that loved Schwartz more than you was probably Jim Schwartz, right? And Jim Schwartz loved himself some Jim Schwartz.
Oh yeah, I mean the team. Honestly, man, and like I said, I had no issues with him. I loved his attitude. You don't like his attitude at some points. We ain't scared. I know you're still mad about that.
You're so stupid.
Huh? I know you're upset.
So stupid.
You know what? But I wasn't healthy. That's probably the next best option. What he did, man. He said I couldn't go back in. So, what do you want from him? What do you want from him? You want him?
Guy.
What? Come on.
Emotional guy. That's exactly. I think that was he had to get from the outside looking in.
Now,
I can't speak from your perspective. From the outside looking in, Terry said it better than I can. He was an emotional guy. He had to get a check. The throwing the flag. What the hell are you doing that for? You're like you are doing something that you admitted after the game screwed your team. That's a conversation I have with my 5-year-old. Now, why did you do that? I knew it was bad.
I was pissed.
So why did you do that? It was bad.
He made a mistake.
Sit in your room for a few minutes. He
made a mistake.
But
get over it.
Why did he make the mistake? Because he's too emotional.
That's exactly it. That's.
I lost my cool.
Yep.
I apologize. Let's move forward. Yeah.
That's right. To grab his arm. Don't throw that.
Yeah. I almost did that. It was a play where Coach Caldwell almost grabbed the flag. And I said, no. He said, no, I'm not going to throw it. I just saw his hand reaching back there. I just saw his hand reaching back. I said, no, Coach. They go. I've been through this already, Coach. Not again. But like I said, people make mistakes. It's going to happen. Let's move forward. It costs us a game. You think that cost us a game?
1,000%.
No. It's other plays that happened before that.
That's what they always say.
It's always. But I'll tell you this, though. Whenever a play like that happens in that predicament, right, and you lose, that last mistake is always magnified.
Okay, this is why, and I agree with you. And, Terry, I know you are a big fan. I've heard you say this over the years, and I use it a lot. There are 3 or 4 things that can happen in a football game that can change a football game, right? I'm paraphrasing your quote, but I've heard you say that. Joik, when you are Jim Schwartz in that moment and you are handing somebody a free touchdown, you are literally saying, we don't want this touchdown. Have this touchdown, okay? And then you end up losing the game in overtime. Yes, I am going to say, I'm going to say, wow, you just cost your team a win. Now, in the grand scheme of things, when you went 4-12, how much did that matter? But to me, it's more moving forward. Okay, do I want this guy who clearly can't control his emotions? Do I want this guy as my head coach?
So one mistake, he can't control his
But
emotions.
it wasn't one, and you know it. It wasn't one.
It was one mistake.
I'm not gonna ask you to say anything. You know that. That's your coach.
That's
I'm
his
not gonna
boy.
have you-
He's not gonna
Yeah,
come down.
No, I'm serious.
No.
I don't want you to disrespect your guy.
No, I'm not going to disrespect him. The facts are that he made a mistake. What other mistakes did he make that year beside the Steelers one?
That was 2013.
Yeah. My question to you though. That particular play, if he scores, are we having this conversation?
No. And if my aunt had a unit, she'd be my uncle.
That's right. But you didn't score.
But you
and
didn't score.
win.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I mean, that's
You know what's funny? You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? That how a person's their logic can totally change off the outcome of something.
1000%.
And I give you a perfect example. We've always been taught when you're catching punts and you're backed up by your end zone, you put your heels on the 10-yard line, if the ball goes over your head, you let it go. You let it go. Right? That's the guideline. You have some guys that are guideline players. My first time catching a punt, my rookie year, my second, I'm sorry, the ball goes over my head, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do what they say, but if I do that, they won't be able to see what I can do. Go catch it. Caught it at the 4. I thought I took 2 steps back, so I thought it was like at the 8. But when I watched the film, I caught the ball at the 4. Got the ball out to, I think, the 32 or 34. Now, do you think the coaches yelled at me about that?
Yes.
Yes, they yelled at me about it. Yes, but not the head special team coach. The coach who was in charge of us just, I don't want to put his name out there. The coach, he said, if I ever see you catch a ball pass, I don't care if you take it 120-some yards. Yeah, you're sitting on the bench. I said, all right, coach. All right, coach. But the head special team coach, he was happy that I did that, and I see him running down the sideline as I'm running the ball. I see him running, and he couldn't really run. He was an older guy, so he was kind of skipping. He had like a little short step. It was kind of pigeon-toe. It was funny. It was hilarious. But I took it down the sideline. I got to about the 34, and he didn't say anything. He said, good run. But let me have, like, dropped it or something like that, then I told you, let it go. If it's going to be one way this way, let it be like that the whole time. Don't switch it up, And that's where the favoritism stuff comes in with certain players that some players just don't like. If you're going to treat one player one way, treat us all the same way. And I know some coaches are like that, right? And that's how the NFL is. But with Coach Caldwell, he treated everyone the same.
So you brought up one of my pet peeves in the NFL.
No.
I don't understand why so many dudes catch the ball at the 5-yard line and try to run it.
Depends, though. So
most of the time it's going to go in the end zone.
Yes, I'll tell you this. It depends. If they're kicking it from like the 50 and they're on their 50, they're kicking it, yes, let it go. But they were kicking it from like the ball was like at their 35. So he was kicking from like the 20. And so it wasn't high to where they can get down to me and I could catch it and make a move. And so it wasn't a line drive. It wasn't high, a flyer. It was like in the middle. So I was able to catch it.
You can get the running start,
I can get the running start.
Yeah.
So when I caught the ball, the closest person to me was like 8 yards away. And so I had room to catch it and make a move. So I made like 2 or 3 guys miss. I hit the sideline. I don't know how open it was. I had like 5 blockers in front of me. And I don't know, somebody just ankle swiped me and I fell at the 34.
But you understand the reasoning why the coaches are giving you crap, though, right? I mean, now looking back.
The head coach.
The percentages are going to screw up.
Listen, the head coach didn't say anything. The head special team coach didn't say anything. It was only the coach who was in charge of making sure you're catching the balls correctly. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
But didn't he see it was a line drive? Didn't he see circumstances were different? Obviously he didn't.
Yes, he did. And that's
he still yelled at you.
Yes, he still yelled at me. He still yelled at me.
Should have smacked him.
Smacked him. I didn't have to say anything. I got you know, in my first.
You don't have guaranteed contracts.
Right,
so
I don't have. I got a 30-yard punt return on my very, very first punt return in the NFL. What you gonna say? Like, what you gonna say? Like, you can't say too much, you know. So, it was good times though. I told him shh. Exactly. Tom said shh.
That's great. All right, listen, we're going to try to get back on time. We're not really on time yet, but we're going to try to get back on time. Tom Brady partying. Right. That's if you think that's
let him
bad,
live.
You wait and see what it's going to be like in Detroit on that magical day. Are you kidding me? It's not going to be the Super Bowl trophy being. I'm going to be thrown from different boats on the Detroit River. We'll come back and get into that. Don't go anywhere. Terry Foster, Joik Bell, Sean Baligian. So glad you can join us. Woodward.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
We say goodbye to Terry Foster. Terry's always going to be in on Thursdays.
Not
As a matter of fact,
goodbye. See
he's
you
going
later.
to be in on Monday as well. Terry and I are going to be doing the show together on Monday. Joik, you're a businessman for the next few weeks, right? On Monday, is that basically what my understanding is?
Yep,
Good for you.
Appreciate
Well, I got a surprise for you. It might be you and Terry for a week, the end of March.
Ooh.
Finally taking the family down to the Keys.
Ooh.
I've been very blessed. I've been pretty much everywhere you can go in the USA. I haven't been to the Keys, and I haven't been to Alaska. Those are the two last boxes to check off. And we were supposed to go to the Keys.
You've been to every state except for those two.
I haven't. You know what? I don't have any interest in going to the states that I haven't been to. Does that make sense?
What states haven't you been to?
I have not been to Utah because stopping in Salt Lake City doesn't.
Right.
That doesn't count. Like when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I went to Beijing." If your plane stops in Beijing, you're not in Beijing. You know what I mean? So Utah, I haven't been to Utah. Wyoming, I don't have any interest in going to Wyoming because I saw Montana. So my mindset is Montana kind of covered for it. Right. Montana's awesome, by the way. Alaska, like I said, Alaska and the Keys are like the two last places I haven't been to that like I want to go to.
Have you been to Maine?
Love it. Beautiful. That rocky coast, it's absolutely...
What city were you?
I forget the name of the city. It's...
Tell me one city in Maine.
One city... Portsmouth?
I couldn't tell you
Augusta?
one city. I couldn't tell you one city.
Augusta?
Is it Augusta?
There is... No, it's right like when you get over the border. So like what I did is I made a like long weekend. I went to a Boston Red Sox game. And then you can jump in your car and like... go through 4 different states like that, right? Because everything's so congested there. And so we went over and we had lobster just inside Maine. And it was, that rocky coast was beautiful. Like the Atlantic side is just, I love it. I know everybody talks about the Pacific side, but that Atlantic side is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, but the day that COVID hit last year, we were literally flying out that day. And, the whole time we're going, oh, just get us on the plane, just get us on the plane. And then basically what happened first before our flight got canceled is I don't know if you remember, they shut down the Keys. They shut down the Keys. Like that's how we found out we weren't going. So you know how you go from Miami to get on that, whatever that highway is, the Atlantic Highway or whatever. Right. They were like, nope, Keys are shut down. Nobody's going in. So yeah, we kind of got screwed. And for a while we thought, wow, that sucks. We're going to have to, bite the price tag and everything, but the airline came through and hooked us up. So yeah, the last
take care
week,
of you guys.
Big time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Delta. But so fly into Miami and just staying in the Keys. I think it's Delta. I think it is.
Come on now. You got to go with Spirit, man.
I don't know.
That's my type of budget.
Lewiston, Maine, that's up near
you know
the
what
Quebec
though?
side.
By the
That's
time
not
you
like
get
a border.
done paying, by the time you get done paying for your luggage, you pay for your carry-on, You got to pay for your air, your oxygen on the plane. You have to pay for a cup of water. You have to pay for the cup. You got to pay for the plastic the cup comes in.
I don't do any of that fancy stuff. I sit in the seat and ride for the 4 hours.
Well,
and say
I'm gonna give you a confession about me that you guys might not know, but I know some of your Wayne Strait brethren know. I hate flying. I hate it with a passion. I don't know what it is, whether it's claustrophobia, whether it's being in the. I hate it with a passion, and I'm gonna tell you point blank. I get wasted when I fly with my family. Point blank. No problem. And my kids think it's the funniest thing on earth. Dad, did you start drinking yet? I sure did. It's one of those things. It's the only way.
Life of my life.
It's the only. It's the only way. Like, I hate flying. I hate it. I just don't. Some people enjoy it. I'm not one of them. So yeah, that day that we leave in late March to go down there, I'm gonna get drunk.
You get wasted, right?
Yeah,
What's your go-to drink?
Whiskey.
Is it Hennessy? Oh, it's
Whiskey.
not Hennessy. It's not cognac.
Whiskey.
Okay.
Give me a good stiff rye. Just a few drinks. Now, when I say wasted, I'm not talking I'm Tom Brady walking off the boat.
So what's the difference between a bourbon, a whiskey, a cognac? What's the difference?
Do you really want to know?
Oh, that's a 4-hour podcast within
Here
itself.
we go. You ready?
What's the difference?
All right. It starts with the barrel.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so
You got Art Smith, bro.
There's Irish, there's Scotch, there's Canadian whiskey, there's
Scotch.
American whiskey.
Yeah, no.
It's preparation. And with bourbon, they use a smoked fresh barrel. That's why it has that smoked fresh taste to it, as opposed to an old barrel that is used over and over and over, and the way it's distilled. I was actually an ambassador for Canadian Club, and so I would give some tours of the facility over there in Windsor. And so yeah, I learned all those classes. It was kind of funny. Yeah.
So you like Jimmy Beam?
It's not my thing. I'd rather have a good rye. Some people like the Jim Beam. Some people like the SoCo. I don't like the smoky flavor. I have enough smoke in my life from barbecuing, so I want a good, clean whiskey.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah, I want that nice. Where all I need is one cube, and boop, goes down the hatch.
So I want to get this refrigerator where it makes the little ball cubes, like the real thick ones.
Those are great. I have one.
Or the one that makes the square ones that make it look real. And what's it for? What do you call those bartenders that usually make those type of drinks? It's a name for them. I can't think of it, but they're like artists with it. They're artists, and so.
Oh, I'm an artist. Trust me.
You're an artist when it comes to barbecuing and smoking real.
I'm an artist when I get drunk. I'm an incredible artist.
You know what, Sean, I want to be around you one time while you're drunk, while you're wasted. I could just tell you're a character. You
know what? Everybody's got a different personality, right? I to the surprise of nobody, I'm a very happy drunk. I'm a very.
Are you a very?
I probably. You might end up punching me.
I love you,
That's
Joy.
exactly it. That's exactly
I love you. Come here.
You might end up punching me.
You're
Don't
gonna
touch me, Sean. No, Joy.
Listen to me.
I'm so proud of you.
Hey, you're spitting, Sean. Relax. You're spitting on me.
Yes, mixologist. Dave said mixologist.
It's okay. That's what it is. Mixologist. That's what it is.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you and Terry might be doing the show the last week of March because it's
okay.
Yeah, Alaska is the
no. You're gonna be on your family trip, and you know what you're gonna be doing?
Yeah,
you're gonna be doing the virtual.
I'm not doing no damn show when I'm with my family.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely not.
You're doing like 2 shows.
No way.
2 or 3 shows, for sure.
You know what's awesome? Have you been to Hawaii?
Oh, I love it.
Love it. Absolutely. I never thought.
Which island you go to? You go to Oahu or Maui?
Do you know what my favorite thing was? I've been to both, but do you know what my favorite thing was? The quiet island, Lanai. I could live on Lanai for the rest of my days.
Maui is a quiet island. It's like everything closed down early. Is real.
Lanai, yeah, absolutely. It was great. I loved it. Lanai City. There is this city there that so the way that island is. The best way to say it is it reminds me of Michigan. There are pine trees everywhere, and because it's elevated. While it was like 85 degrees down on the beach, it was like 60 degrees. I was wearing, something like this. It was awesome. Loved it. I loved Lanai. Go ahead and take Maui and Honolulu and Kauai and all where all the action is.
There's no action there. It's shit. Like
Maui, I love it.
There's no action in Maui. What I'm saying. Like Maui is more so. Maui is like the slow pace. So you have like Oahu should be like the Detroit of Hawaii, and then you have Maui would be more so like a Ben Harbor, St. Joe area, real small, slow pace, not too much going on, more culture. It's more culture there. I loved it because when I went there, I was able to go to like the what you call that thing, the luau. I was able to go to the luau. I was able to see the pig being cooked underground, how they did it, how they brought it up. I was able to see all. Pig. I was able to see the different dances and the culture, and it was beautiful, right? And then how it is in Maui, when you say up top, that's where like everything is, and when you go down to the very bottom, it's like where all the resorts are. The Four Seasons, the Andaz, and I actually stayed in the Andaz, which they had the best breakfast spread I've ever had. Like the fresh fruit they had there every single day. It was great. It was beautiful.
Everybody was so nice there too, and it's like that's the thing that blew my mind. Like Hawaiians are just wonderful people, and then I think about it. You live in paradise.
You live in paradise.
You better be.
You know what it is though? I'm gonna give you a fun fact about Hawaii after I tell you this.
All right.
This is how dope it was. Every morning I would have breakfast. It would be one bird that would always come over every single morning. He had one leg. I named him Carlos. And so I named him Carlos. It's like, Carlos, come here. And I give him like food every single morning. He'll always fly up to the table. All right, I'm not lying. His name was Carlos. I called, hey, Los, come over here, Los.
Vacation Joik is a different person.
He's
give him
talking
bread.
To
birds.
I'm there playing
Alcatraz.
Listen, I'm there playing cornhole. I see a guy in a cabana looking at me play, all right? And I'm playing, and he yells out, you can't beat us, you can't beat me. I said, you can get it next. I said, you can get it next. And I point at him just like that. So we keep playing. I win. He comes over. I said, hey, are you Steve Urkel? He said, yeah, that's me.
Are you serious?
I'm over there playing cornhole with Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel. Stephon Urkel. Over there playing cornhole.
Somebody said Joint Ventura.
And so, the craziest part, so me and him, we saw conversing, right? I found out he went to college, and he's looking kind of diesel. He said he was getting ready for a new role in a new movie. I said, what do you train? He said, I live in LA. I train at Unbreakable. I said, what? I train at Unbreakable in LA. Like, I train every off season. I would go there to train at Unbreakable. And after he said that, I would start running into him at Unbreakable in LA. So we swapped out information. So I literally have Steve Urkel number on my phone. We never called each other, but it's
awesome.
Cool to have. Cool to have.
Heck yeah.
But fun fact about Hawaii. Last time I checked, had the most homeless people in the U.S. They live in Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah.
I never would have thought it.
Huge ice problem there.
Really?
Huge. Yeah, bad ice problem.
They must have hit them. I don't, seriously, I don't remember. I was there for a week.
People don't know that. I didn't know that either.
Dog the Bounty Hunter. You ever watch Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, oh, duh. Yeah, I guess you're right.
We're going to get this guy, and we got all this ice. Come on, Beth, let's go.
Joik, you know what was cool about Lanai? I didn't see anybody. That's what I loved. It was like, my wife and I took this, huge walk on the beach on the one side of the island, and, we were walking, and I was like, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
And we kept going, and okay, we haven't seen a single human being. And then all of a sudden I saw some islanders, there's no other way to say it. And they saw me and they were like, can you come over and help us? Sure. What's it? There was a giant sea turtle that was stuck in their net. And so they needed help getting this giant sea turtle. So I waded in the water. And another thing I'm also terrified of is sharks. So I'm looking all around me. I'm going like this, looking all around me. And the guy was like, oh, the sharks are over on the other side of the island. I was like, oh, just the mere fact that they're a mile away, that really cools me off, you jerk.
Yeah,
but it was cool to go in the water and help these guys get
Take 5 minutes.
And when I say it was a giant sea turtle, it was a giant sea turtle. And it was kind of like, I was kind of living a Nat Geo show, I was like, crikey, I'm Sean Baligian, and today we're going to save a giant sea turtle. I mean, it was like, wow, I'm the crocodile hunter.
The best part about your impersonations is Joy just staring at you in amazement.
Just in disgust that he's this good. Just disgusted that he's this freaking good. You know, you can hear his voice and you can know exactly where he's going with it. You know exactly where he's going with it.
Steve said if I was homeless, that would be the place to be.
You know what? I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Always warm.
Yeah.
You know, always warm.
Those islands don't freak you out at all? Like, just the fact that, like, at any given moment,
going back to the,
the island could just sink and go.
I have this claustrophobic thing, Art, and that's part of, like, my thing with planes. And I kind of thought, all right, I'm not landlocked, so am I gonna? I was totally cool while I was there. Like, not one feeling of uneasiness. In fact, I would live out the rest of my days there, to be honest with you. I would.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, I have no problem doing that.
So
that or the Bahamas.
Have you ever been to Greece?
I haven't. I heard it's beautiful.
Jeez, this is rich people talk. I've been to the Upper Peninsula one time. It was really great.
I would move to the Upper Peninsula. We had that conversation. I wouldn't have a family. The rest of my family wouldn't know.
Rome before.
I would move to the UP in a heartbeat.
I couldn't move to UP.
I'd do it.
I couldn't do it.
You know what I would do? I would live in the UP for about 8 months of the year and then go to Hawaii for 4 months of the year. I like being out in the middle of nowhere. I've always been that.
I feel weird, bro. Like, to see, like, these houses and these cabins that's mostly all glass is in the middle of nowhere. I feel like there's somebody out there watching. And I feel like they have the upper hand on me because I can't see them, but they can see me.
Think of all the birds you could talk to. You could talk to so many birds.
I can talk to birds in Hawaii.
There's birds in the Upper Peninsula, too.
But they don't come back to the same spot every single morning. They'll come back to the same spot every single morning.
Yes, they do. When I lived up in the woods, we had a raccoon that we named Stumpy. He had
that a
3
bird?
legs.
Is that a bird?
No, but it's more than birds.
Were you in Petoskey?
I'm only talking about birds.
It was when I lived in Kalkaska. My dad and I would feed the raccoons, and we had bears. We had 13 bears.
So that's what they did growing up. They didn't throw the ball. They fed raccoons. Okay, that's why you can't throw.
I wasn't allowed to feed the raccoons. Okay. I just went with my dad and watched them. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
All right.
I'm joking.
But back on Tom Brady.
All right.
Do you think... All right.
Great segue.
It was. Before we get into Tom Brady, do we have to take another break?
No, sir, we don't.
All right, good. Do you have an issue with him getting?
Absolutely not.
Do you have an issue with him throwing the Lombardi Trophy from boat to boat?
Absolutely not.
Now, if it falls in the water, then what?
He's going to be in a crap load of problems. And there's going to be, I mean, look.
He has 6 of them. He can spare one.
Can I
take this one.
Can I tell you a story? I hope that somebody doesn't get mad at me.
Just take this one. I got one.
I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, you know the Stanley Cup that they play for in the National Hockey League.
Right.
The Stanley Cup is basically given to the team for a couple days after they win. And then what happens is you have what's called your day with the cup. So, Joik, if you're on the Red Wings, you win the Stanley Cup, you can take the cup wherever you want for the full day. If you want to bring it back to Benton Harbor, you can bring it to Benton Harbor.
Just Ben Harbor.
Okay, Ben Harbor.
Yeah.
If you want Ben Harbor.
Ben Harbor.
Okay. So if you want to go to Ben Harbor.
No. No, just Ben Harbor.
The worst.
Just Ben Harbor.
Okay, Ben Harbor. You can. If you want to go to Benton Harbor, you can go to Benton Harbor.
Just
right?
say BH.
If you want to go to Ben Harbor.
Benny Ha.
Benny Ha.
Yeah, Benny Ha.
That's
it.
That's it.
Benny Ha, that's it.
No, but if you want to go to Benny Ha, you can take the cup there. You can even say, you know what? I'm going to spend half the day in Benny Ha, and then I'm coming to the D.
You know what I would do? I would strap it in the car, and I would be hitting about 120 on the highway from Detroit back to Benton Harbor.
Sure.
Just to get pulled over. And they'll come ask me to try to give me a ticket. I'm like, I'm just trying to get this. I'm just trying to get this Lombardi Trophy home safely.
My friend Stanley and I are hanging out all day, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this home safely. All right, so you have a good day.
There is a story, and it is not. I know this is not common knowledge, and I hope that a couple people, this doesn't get back to them. The Stanley Cup suffered a very severe dent at a local establishment downtown back in 2008. A very severe dent. And it was a shh moment because they had to basically take that Stanley Cup and get it repaired legitimately get it repaired and bring the other Stanley Cup to stand in its place. But it did not make the news. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, with 100% certainty, that happened.
What year was this?
2008. Most of the time, that stuff never sees the light of day.
It won't.
You're never going to hear about it. Yeah. So for all I know, Tom Brady found a way to sink that in the bottom of the harbor in Tampa, and we'll never know about it. We'll never know about it. Never, ever, ever, ever. Now, if he throws...
This is top secret. This top
yeah,
secret.
Exactly. You guys aren't going to let it out.
Die.
And
you'll die with this.
I would never narc on you. If you invited me to a party and you said,
After
I got Lombardi here.
After the fact.
You couldn't do that nowadays, though, because of social media. I mean, we all watched the video of him throwing the ball, throwing the trophy. It never happened.
But you also know there are some parties. There are some parties where they say, "Leave your cell phones at the door, young man."
Yeah, I got a question for you. I have a question for you. They have already banned Grunk from his trophy day, his time with the trophy. Is Brady next? Now this is a double standard I'm talking about.
It's one incident, and the thing is I didn't.
I
didn't realize he was human until I saw him drunk, and I was like, "Oh, he's not a robot." Like, no, he could get away with anything.
No, he wasn't drunk. He was drinking some avocado tequila.
He was hammered. And here's my question: his tweet, was that his team, or was that actually him that tweeted and misspelled all the words? Have you seen it? I can pull it up. But do you think that was him, or do you think it was his team?
Okay,
bring it up.
Now this is where you know what, Joy? This is where I feel sorry for guys like you. I feel sorry for athletes, and let me tell you why. Okay, what the hell would I be doing if the Lions ever? You might not see me for a day. I'm going to be so absolutely obliterated.
We're held to a higher standard. Why?
1,000%.
You know why? It's not even that we're athletes. Because there's a lot of football players around, but we're at the highest level. And it's not even about being at the it's about the money we have in our pockets. So I guess when you have more money, you have more people looking at you, waiting for you to do something stupid.
I'm waiting for Biggie to come. More money, more problems.
More money, more problems. Hey, play that too. Get that up.
Yeah, that's a kind of great infringement.
I don't have any
bring it up. Somebody else
problem.
doing it.
Like when people start to do that stuff, it's like, well, what do you expect? Especially, let's look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a guy that has heard people like Maz say for years, he's a system quarterback and his success is because of Bill Belichick. Okay? There are people out there, okay? Tom Brady just went to a team that was 7-9 last year and won the Super Bowl with them at the age of 43. You have the biggest party you've ever had in your life, man.
That's absolutely right.
You.
That's absolutely right. And I want you to understand this, though. He walked into a situation to where the only piece they needed was his piece.
And we didn't realize it.
No, he realized it. He knew it.
He did, yeah.
We
didn't.
We knew it.
Yeah.
It's a similar situation that Stafford could be in. Walking into a team where their only piece is they need that quarterback to get them to the next level. Now, he could have did that on multiple teams. He could have did that with L.A. I like Washington. He could have did it with Indy. Those are the top teams that come to my head, right? And honestly, New Orleans. But does he want to go down there and play behind a legend that's already? I want to like. When is he going to retire? Like, when is he going to announce it?
He says 2 more years.
I've got the tweet up right now.
He says 2 more years. Oh, good. Let me see the tweet.
The tweet. I think it was him.
Is it 2 more years? Because he said he wants to retire at 45.
Yeah, he wants to play until 45. So that would mean
2 more years. He'll be 46.
No, he's 43 now.
But he'll be 44 this year.
He'll be 44 to start the. Yeah, but I mean, my assumption is he's not going to retire after next year. I think he'll be 45 when he retires. So if he retired after the 2022 season, he'd be 45. Nothing to see here. Just little avocado tequila.
Do you think that was him?
I think it's completely done on purpose.
Yeah.
That's my guess. That's my.
Are there people actually shaming him for getting drunk?
No. Nobody's.
I've seen a couple comments.
No. Nobody's going to shame him because he did what he had to do. He wasn't drunk going into a game. He got drunk after a year long, right? A year long of training, prepping, watching film, dealing with the media, dealing with coaches, dealing with off the field noise, and he was able to shut all that out take this team to the Super Bowl, win it, be professional while doing it, right? And then after the game, he goes out and have a couple of drinks and get wasted? No. Hey, enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. I've never drunk before, but if I won the Super Bowl, I don't know.
Could I give you a piece of meat and a shot of whiskey if the Lions win the Super Bowl? Could I get 2 out of you?
You know how sick
I'll
you
make
would get,
you whatever
though?
you want, and
You would get sick.
with a shot of whiskey.
What do you mean? No, you wouldn't. No. You haven't had meat for forever. You're saying you wouldn't get sick if you had. You would get sick.
I wouldn't get sick.
If I gave him 1 piece of brisket, you think he'd get sick?
Yes.
Really?
It hasn't been in his body
I don't want to
for
make you
so
sick,
long.
friend. I don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they usually say. You get sick. Like, you remember how I had some of that?
Yeah, that's right. You told me. Yeah,
and that made me feel weird.
Yeah.
Even though
I
didn't have any meat,
I got silent.
Did you hear Kevin said still not getting it suctioned to the bottom of the deep end of a pool? God bless Muriel Lemieux. There are more stories. You should read some of the Stanley Cup stories. And trust me, there are stories out there that are told, and there are stories out there that'll never get told.
Yeah, and the act like you've been here before. Like, shut up. Shut up.
Have a day. Have a day.
I mean, it's just like this, right? You work your whole life, right? You work your whole life. Or say you set a goal, right? You don't buy anything extravagant. You don't do anything crazy. But you say, listen, if we win a Super Bowl, right? We win a Super Bowl, I'm going to take some of my earnings. I'm going to buy me that Lambo truck I've always wanted because I'm a car guy. I made this promise to myself during the off season. And so when you go and you get this reward, you have to reward yourself. That's how you keep yourself motivated. Some people, they like tangible things that they can touch, right? And for Tom Brady, if he wants to go get hammered, he can do just that. He doesn't need your opinion. He doesn't need your approval. He doesn't care about, he don't care. Now, do you think he'll be able to do this in New England, what he did here? No.
No, because
no, he wouldn't be able to.
The Lombardi Trophy might freeze mid-throw between the boats, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's able to get some sail on it. Yeah. Have a blast.
But say they
got so
but,
serious.
But listen,
relax.
say they won it, and then we went into COVID, and now they postponed the parade until the summertime. Now, what happens then? You think Belichick was like, oh God, no.
He's been on a bender since the Super Bowl.
It's been put on record. It's been put on record.
Double fisting.
It's been put on record, right? It's been put on record that Gronk and Tom Brady had no special privileges at all when they were in New England. None. And you have a guy like that, you have a guy like Gronk, two of the best in the game at their position.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, probably one that's the greatest of all time at his position. And you telling me this guy can't, have a little bit of fun? He has no special treatment? No, a guy like that gets special treatment on my team. I'm sorry.
It's funny, you mentioned driving the trophy. Had you won it to Benny Ha? Did I say it right?
Just say BH.
BH. You see my grandma, she said, Benton Harbor.
But I'm going with Grammy Whammy. If you want to argue with Grammy Whammy, Benton Harbor.
Just say Benny Ha. Just say Benny Ha.
No, you brought up that story. So there was this player for the Montreal Canadiens named Guy Lafleur. He's a great player 40 years ago and everything. Uh-huh. And they had won the Cup 4 times in a row. And after they won in 1979, they're having the party in the locker room, and everybody goes, well, where's the Stanley Cup? So the Stanley Cup went missing for a couple hours, and people were like freaking out. This is a true story. Guy Lafleur was so moved by winning the Stanley Cup again, he snuck out of the forum where they were playing with the Stanley Cup, jumped in his Porsche, drove 90 minutes to home, to his hometown of Thurso, and was chilling out on his front lawn with his mom with the Stanley Cup. Now, how cool is that? Even though he's won multiple cups, like that moment to him was so cool. He goes, I don't know if I'm ever going to... Literally snuck out of the Montreal Forum, jumped in his I think it was a Porsche, drove 90 minutes to Thurso, a town up near Ottawa, knocked on his door. Hey, Mom, I'm here with the Stanley Cup. And he and his mom were chilling out on the front lawn with the Stanley Cup. That's awesome. Now, that's the day and age before they gave guys the cup. Like I said, if you won the Stanley Cup, like, Joik, you get the Stanley Cup on June 22nd.
And that's fair.
Then we're handing it off to Art. Art, you get the Stanley Cup on January 23rd.
Like, before I hand it off, though, do they examine to make sure nothing's wrong with it? It's kind of like renting a car.
More than you could ever imagine. Hi, being at a bar in 2008 when the Stanley Cup fell 7 stories and got dented but never made the news. Yes. Yes, they do.
Was it 7 stories or 6?
I don't know for sure.
I heard it was like 3.
I don't know for sure. I don't know what you're talking about. No, but that's people know that happened. Some people watched it happen.
Did they record it?
No.
It would have definitely
because their
been
phones were asked to be put away.
How do you feel about that? How some players might have these, or people
NDAs.
might have these certain sign NDAs and all that stuff. When we do it, it's frowned upon,
Go
right?
have fun.
But
Go have fun. I thought it was great. To this day, I don't have a problem. But look, the Stanley Cup got dented. There's no other way to say that. And they had to take the Stanley Cup back to like the Hockey Hall of Fame to get the Stanley Cup dented. And so they brought the other Stanley Cup to play as the role of the Stanley Cup, because there's a real cup and there's a fake cup. And the real Stanley Cup got dented. That's a true story.
Fun fact.
There's probably a Red Wing or two that might yell at me for saying that, but I think 13 years later, we can talk about it, right? It's 13 years ago.
It's the past.
It's 13 years ago. It happened, and everybody moved on.
I know what it was.
What would you do, Sean,
if
if you had the Stanley Cup for one day? You could do anything.
I would weep. I would hold it and weep and cradle it like a babe and sing songs to it and pet it.
Isn't that what you would do?
And then we would skip down the street and then we would smoke meat together.
Yeah.
Would you put meat inside the top?
Yes, and
eat it like cereal?
And whiskey and just going like this double. No, you know what? It would be one of those things, all jokes aside, I would share it with my friends and family, things like that. Probably show it off to a bunch of little kids because that's, there was a guy.
I'm gonna tell you right, your kids and your family care just as much as that for that Stanley Cup trophy as you care about your birthday.
I love when it's my birthday. Talk about me, celebrate me. I'm a great person.
I'm telling you, I hate my birthday.
Jake, Joey, do you like your birthday?
I thought you weren't allowed to touch the cup if you weren't a player.
You aren't allowed to touch a cup if you're not a player. I didn't touch it. I won't touch it. I won't touch it.
Nah.
I will not touch it.
Why not?
It's the rule. I didn't earn it. I didn't earn the right. Now, if I'm a member of a club, if I'm an official employee of the Detroit Red Wings or the Carolina Hurricanes,
and you work in the front office,
I think
scouting
that's different.
Stuff.
But that is a superstition for anybody who ever grew up watching or playing. You don't touch the Stanley Cup. You didn't earn that right.
You don't walk on a W. You don't walk on you don't walk on the W. You don't earn it.
No. Now I know some guys that did. That when the opportunity presented itself, come on, how often am I going to get this chance to hold the Stanley Cup and put it over your head and everything? I'll never do it unless I work for a team. And that's okay.
So you'll never hold it, basically what you're saying. So even if you cover the team for the whole year,
that doesn't count. You have to work for a team. Like here,
it is work. Yeah.
Games.
So the beat writers for the line, they can't touch it.
No, hell no. You don't work for the lines. When I did games for Carolina, I got a paycheck from the Carolina Hurricanes Hockey Club. If they won the Stanley Cup that year, you bet your butt.
So what do you do for what was your job there? What did you do?
I did play-by-play for Fox Sports Carolina.
So you do play-by-play for the Red Wings? Would you do it then? For the Wings?
Yes, if they won the Cup that year, yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely, I would. Yep.
Okay.
You're a member of the team. Absolutely. I would wait until everybody else got it, but would I take a day with the Cup under those circumstances? Absolutely.
Okay.
And then I die. That would be the end of my life. That would really be it. That would be, okay, I've done everything in this life that I want to do, and I'm ready to go.
Except walk my baby girl down the aisle at a wedding.
Yeah, I'm not missing that.
Yeah. So you haven't done everything.
No.
It
might be that moment.
Yes.
It might be that moment. Like as soon as we're done, I'm gonna look at Laura and go, "Can I go now?" Yeah, Dad, go on, and then I'm off. So it'll be good.
Yeah, I have to look. I have to walk down the aisle. I have to look the guy in his eyes as I'm Cause that's like a passion. Like you're putting the protection of your baby girl into another man's hand. And then when you gotta look him in his eyes and say, "You take care of my baby girl."
If you said that, I really think I'd urinate myself. Like honestly, if you stared me down on the day of my wedding, like you just stared me down, you better take care of.
What was that
girl.
movie with 50 Cent? Do you remember that movie 50 Cent, The Den of Thieves? Basically, him and his homeboy, they would rob banks. They do this thing, and so one scene, his daughter was going to prom. Her date comes over. He had like a red blood bandana sticking out, like as he was in the game. He walks in the house, and he comes. He said, "Hi, my name is da da da. Is your daughter home?" He said, "Come in for a minute." He took his bandana that he had and he tucked it in his jacket. He said, "Let me talk to you for a second." Grabbed him, brought him in the garage. And his mom and his daughter and the mom was saying, "Dad, no." He said, "I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. You know, have a one-on-one." He takes him in the garage, closes the door, and it shows him walking in the garage. And as he walks in the garage, he's like, and you don't know why he's looking like that. And it showed 50 closing the door behind him. And then the camera comes around. 50 Cent had all his homeboys in there. They was lifting weights in there, so it was all sweaty and big. And he basically told the kid, he said, "Listen, for the past 16 years, me taking care of my daughter has been solely my responsibility. Tonight, I'm gonna give it to you. Don't let nothing happen to her, or your mama will weep for you for years as she watch you eat out of a straw." He like, "Do you hear me?" He said, "Now, go have a good time."
Yeah, yes, sir.
Now go have a good time.
Absolutely.
And so I imagine
Den of Thieves. I gotta check that
Den
out.
of Thieves. It was Den of Thieves.
Steve
it was one of my
said,
favorite.
"Sounds like Sean loves the cup more than his firstborn." Absolutely. The Stanley Cup was there before my kids. What a stupid question that is.
That's so stupid.
Why would you even bring that? Of course.
Duh.
Look, I knew Stanley long before I knew Jack and Lauren. Come on now.
Jack who?
Yeah,
Lauren.
Jack or Stanley. Jack or Stanley. I'm going Stan all day.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right,
Yeah.
Scott Bischoff is here. We're going to talk some draft with him. I actually have a draft proposition. I've been saving this. I have a draft proposition for both of you. There was a little Dane Brugler. Are you familiar with his work? He had a.
I save it for when we come back.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it this way. This is the tease. He had a proposition for all Lion fans. Did I do good?
Yeah.
Was that a good tease?
Yeah, that's a good tease.
We'll tell you what
Good
it is
segue.
when we come back. Woodward Sports.
That's the way to bring the wood.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What's up? This is Joy Bell here. Back with another segment for
Everybody knows who
Baligian
you
and Bell.
are.
Not just I love doing it, and at times we don't have to say we. We don't have to say we know who you are. But no, we're back here. We have Scott Bischoff. What's up, my guy?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's always good
You
to
get
have
the
you
guns
on.
out?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not really out, but wait till Friday.
They're out.
Wait till Friday. I got something for you Friday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Flashback.
Top?
You'll see.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to the gym before I come in. Oh yeah.
Just
It's up.
Arm day.
It's arm day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gun show Friday. So I'm gonna give you a little history. So when I play, every Friday was gun show Friday, and so and no, I'm serious. And you have to be 18. You have to be 18, or you're gonna get throughout the club. You got to be 18 and up to get in the club, right? So 18 and up is basically we have this tape measure, right? And you wrap it around your arm, and it has to be at least 18.
Ridiculous.
It has to be at least 18 centimeters, or you got to get kicked out the club, right? And so
if it's 18 centimeters, I would pass. You mean 18 inches?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 18 inches. I'm tripping. Yeah, I didn't want to. I'm sorry.
You were trying not to show off so
Yeah.
much.
So it had to be.
Even though you just showed everybody the.
Yeah, so you had to be 18 inches. So when I played, Reggie was like a 21.
Reggie Bush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would get mad.
What was Sue?
Sue wasn't. Was Sue
He was
coming?
enormous.
I don't know. I can't remember what Sue was. But like the people that I would compete with would be like, me and Reggie would compete. Probably a few of the linebackers.
21.
Yeah, and Reggie was like a 21. I'm like, you what? And that was like before they'll measure before I might be a 19, and then after we're done, like I'm right under 20. I'm like 20 and 3/4. All right, and so I might be right at 18 now. I might be.
Hulk Hogan had 24-inch pythons.
24-inch pythons.
Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Look at these guns, though. I mean, it's
I don't know.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I still got a stiff arm.
I always wear sleeves.
Hey, show us yours real quick, Art.
I got you.
I always wear sleeves. I just don't want to embarrass you.
Even with his shirt on, he's probably a 6.
Self-indulgent, just a touch to wear a shirt like this, but
I'm
whatever.
ripped. Yep. I'm ripped.
Trisha's arms is bigger. Relax. I bet somebody broke into a house. Trisha is like the protector of that household.
Nah, that's what the Glock's for. Let's keep it moving. 30-round clip. Anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
You and I are friends. I don't know if you know that, but
I'm too old to fight, man.
You and I are friends. You don't.
How old are you? 32.
31. I'll be 32 in April, and you can celebrate my birthday. I better get one of those nice.
We're going to remember your birthday because time won't let us forget.
I'm just going to tell you.
Time won't let us
forget.
forget.
Can you imagine being 32? 32.
I don't remember 32.
What happened?
I don't even remember 32. It was so long ago.
Here we go. But back, what was your draft proposition for us?
Oh boy.
So Dane Brugler did his mock draft in the Athletic. Are you familiar with the Athletic?
Dane knows what he's doing.
Dane is very good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar. Dane Brugler's really good. Not as good as Scott, but he's very good.
I beg to differ.
So are you ready? Are you ready for this?
No, let him stroke you a little bit.
The Lions give up pick 7 this year. In return, they get the 19th pick this year, the 3rd round pick this year, and the Washington football team's 1st round pick next year. Would you do it? Same here. Immediately. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Are you kidding?
Wouldn't you? Because you know what? Next year, and I'm a high pick snob, okay? I am. He knows this. I'm a high pick snob.
Yeah.
All right?
Can you imagine having 3 first-round picks?
With that being said, I want you to think about next year when this team stinks and they're going to stink. Let's say they're 5.
That's a win for us. You know why that's a win for us?
They pick 5. Mm-hmm. Let's even pretend that both Washington football team, I almost said the R word, the Washington football team and the St. Louis Rams, Los Angeles Rams are good playoff teams. You're talking about pick 5, pick 21, pick 26.
Why are we assuming that the Redskins are a good play? Who are they coming up to get at 7? Is it a quarterback?
That's my assumption.
Okay.
That's my assumption.
How is that going to help them right now? You're still starting Taylor Heineke, Alex Smith, rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they say to themselves, let's add to what is already a good defense.
Maybe.
Parsons, I don't know.
I can't imagine them coming up from 19 to 7, giving up future stuff, all that, for a non-quarterback.
Will you quit pissing on my dream?
I'm not.
I'd rather you not. Can I just dream for
a minute? Been a realist.
Can I have a little happiness?
I'm trying to make it better. It's going to be an earlier pick than you think in 2022. It would be.
Now, I want you to think about this. All right? 3 picks in like the top 25 next year. You want to turn around the franchise, the fortunes of your franchise, hit on those picks.
And let's hit on what Scott said about this upcoming year, about teams not being able to do the due diligence they're usually able to do due to COVID. That it's a lot of uncertainty with these players. Yep. And so what happens if not only do we trade our first round pick to them for the picks next year, but imagine all the due diligence we can do next year with all the players. All the questions that can't be answered now can be answered next year with these players. That's what we need, right? And that's what we need to be able to do, because we can't afford to have any mistakes.
Can't do it
in this draft.
Who are they taking at 19? We need to talk about that. That's part of the deal. Who are you taking at 19?
Don't you think things become a lot more open at 19, though?
Absolutely.
I think to me that's when you can go into a wonderful world of let's do this now. And you and I are going to be talking about offensive linemen later. I know it's boring, but guess what? See Joik Bell. That's all I'm going to say. He says it all the time. It's all about getting those lines straightened out, man. Lines got to get their lines straightened out. They're pieces, but now you build. So it's not sexy, but I tell you what, it wins.
Yes, it is.
Taking care of the trenches wins. Well, everybody wants to stick with the quarterback. And you tell me about
But it's, I mean,
You see Jenna? Did Shine and Scott just have a Joik and Art moment?
Did we?
They finish each other sandwiches.
I am very uncomfortable right now.
I know that movie.
You know that movie? They finish each other sandwiches.
I was going to say it.
and that's something, you know what? And Steven said, especially with being the COVID draft year, preach, Joy. Absolutely. I mean, that's Scott. You brought that up last week. There's so much uncertainty this year.
Yeah, Steven said 7 eggplants.
Give me some. Is that what that is? With that, I was wondering what that was.
I don't know what
eggplants.
What does that mean?
Yeah, he's dropping a lot of them in the comments.
Tell me what that means.
Steven, what does that mean? Are you aroused?
Okay.
I think so.
He's aroused with that.
Was that the right word?
7 eggplants?
He's aroused.
Is he? Oh boy.
Normally I see 5 eggplants, but when you drop 7 eggplants on me, I know.
When do you see
Shit's
5?
about showing off.
Sean, when do you see 5? All right, on to the next.
Can we talk about arm length or something?
There. I paid my.
Hey, put it in the cup.
Put it in the
you
cup.
go.
I dropped one swear, so there it is. There's my dollar. I'm going to do it. Steven said, "Who do you think is the top quarterback next year?" It's obviously early, but
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell from North Carolina.
From North Carolina, and then there's a huge group of, I don't know, Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, who was coveted coming into Oklahoma. I don't know so much. Keaton Slovis from USC is sort of intriguing, but he had a kind of a down year. But we need to pump the brakes a touch on what this year was. But I think it's Sam Howell, and he's the prize of next year's class at the quarterback position. He is.
I saw him a lot because I don't know if you guys noticed this, you nerds out there like me who spend their Saturday afternoons watching football. With the ACC starting early, North Carolina was on every week.
They were a fun watch.
They literally, and that offense, it was fascinating to watch Mac just turn that offense on like that. They couldn't play defense worth a lick.
No.
But offensively, they were a fun team to watch. So
And they limited Howell.
lot.
They didn't really play to his strengths. They have really good pieces on offense. They have Diami Brown, the receivers, are going to be a really good player. But then it's Michael Carter running back and Javonte Williams running back, and those two are thunder and lightning. And it is have you seen Javonte Williams' work?
No.
You got to check him out. You'd appreciate it.
I will.
He is
explosive.
He's explosive, sure, but it's one of those things where it's like rolling a bowling ball down the field and asking a defense to tackle him and him just bouncing off people.
Shot
and
out of a cannon. Think about you against Ashland.
It is absolutely crazy to watch him just bounce off defenders and then struggle to bring him down. He's 5'10", 220 pounds. He can move. He's fast. He's got lateral quickness, but he's so difficult to bring down, and it's violence the way he runs the ball. Like
violent.
It is.
So it's my type. It's my type.
It is like, yes, get off me. Get off of me. I'm bouncing off of you. And some guys make players miss through foot quickness and more finesse type stuff, where his desire is to run through you, over you, however you want to do it. He's also quick enough to run around you too, but I think his desire is to run through you. He's going to go earlier than I think where it would make sense for where Detroit is, but he would be a perfect complement to DeAndre Swift. Perfect. Because he's good out of the backfield too. He can catch passes. He's not a liability there. He's got to improve in pass protection like every rookie running back does.
Yeah.
But as far as just,
they don't teach it. And I'm pretty sure they're not teaching that in North Carolina.
No.
They're not teaching
but
that.
He's big enough. He's willing. It's more technical stuff where some running backs are just
I'm going to tell you the biggest transition for a running back from college to the NFL is learning the defense. Are they Are they an under? Are they an over? Are they in bear? Are they an eagle? All right, if they're an eagle, who do I have? If they're under, who do I have? That's going to be
in pass pro.
And pass pro, running, all that. You have to know all of these things because it's going to give you reads, right? It's going to give you reads to who you should block. All right, so if they're in the 9, if they're in the under, and they bring that safety's creeped up, right, and that safety's creeping up to that side.
He's coming.
He could be coming, right? He could be coming, but sometimes it can be a disguise because if he was to come, where can he fit? He has nowhere to fit. Somebody already has that 3 gap. He's not coming. The DN has the outside, so more than likely he might not be coming. It might be a disguise. He might shoot out, and the blitz might come from the other side. But they try to mess with young rookie running backs with things like that, trying to show you a bunch of different things right before the play, because when the play is snapped, and the ball is snapped, it's you don't know. He's bailing somebody else is coming, and they just need to. They're trying to, you're looking at my hand here, but when it's a magician, you need to always watch that offhand.
Yeah.
All right. They're showing you this, but it's really coming from over here, and so as a rookie, that was the hardest thing for me to adjust to.
Can I ask you something? And I don't want you to get mad at me because he's your boy. Okay.
Who?
Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush was so explosive, so incredibly dynamic coming out of USC. I'll never forget, and you and I have talked about this, Scott. Sean Salisbury said he is going to change the way that the running back position is played in the National Football League. Reggie Bush was never that in the National Football League. He was a good running back.
Who said that?
Sean Salisbury. He was a good running back. But here, I'll give you an example.
Did Reggie say that?
Alvin Kamara became what Reggie Bush was supposed to be in New Orleans. Like he did. Alvin, what Reggie Bush was supposed to be in New Orleans, Alvin Kamara eventually became. When I look at a guy like Reggie Bush, and I'm being serious when I say this, why wasn't Reggie, as good as he was in the National Football League, and you two as a tandem were damn good,
yeah.
Why didn't it happen for a guy like that? Can you explain that in like simple terms? And again, I'm not dogging him. He had a good career.
He had a great career. He played 11 years.
But why didn't you see that? Is it he was too slight? Is it the way that teams schemed against him? What would be the best way to describe that?
I don't know. I thought he did pretty well.
Who were his quarterbacks?
Drew Brees.
Okay. Who was his offensive coordinator? I know that these are
no. I was going to say offensive coordinator, but I didn't want to throw. I don't think Joe Lombardi was he the offensive coordinator then? I don't think.
Early then, I don't.
I don't think he was.
Early then, I don't know.
Yeah.
Early, like way back when.
Meaning in New Orleans, who was, because things are very different with Kamara and Brees than they were with.
1,000%.
They are.
Yeah.
1,000.
And the game is being played differently now than what it was then.
Yeah.
And again, I want you. I please hear me out. Reggie was one of the most dynamic college players.
My question to you is this: who was the best player on the offensive team? I mean, on the team then. Who was the best?
New Orleans?
Yeah, at that time.
It was Drew. It was still Drew.
It was still Drew.
It was still Drew.
All right. So, and now it's still Drew. Is it this past year still Drew?
No.
Kamara. Alvin Kamara.
Totally different cat without Brees as a quarterback. Totally different. Very much not lesser. That's the wrong way to put it. But his production is very much reduced without Brees.
Well,
they're just like hand in glove.
You saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Right.
So going forward, I don't know that Kamara is going to be as productive as he has been without Brees.
Or
do you guys understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Like Kamara was putting up numbers that Bush should have put up, but didn't. And it like things like that always fascinating.
But I would tell you this: they do a better job now with getting Alvin Kamara out in the open space than what they did with Reggie.
And they've
that's
really
where Reggie
good
shined.
offensive line.
He was never.
Yes.
That's where he shined.
He had to be outside.
But and then that's where we come into play to where we say coaches put the players into position to where they can be successful. You know what? That's a good question to ask Reggie when he comes on.
Okay.
So the thing is with Reggie is he was used more as a traditional running back at times than he was as a weapon in space, which is almost
And we were able to do that.
Misreading the room?
It makes me think, okay, and Scott, you're a hockey guy. Okay, there are guys, one of my buddies, okay, 20 years ago, he was only going to get a sniff in the National Hockey League. If he played today, and if he's watching, he knows what I'm talking about, he would have been a 20-year NHL player. There's no doubt in my mind. The problem was he was 5'8.5".
Yeah.
In a day and age where the way that game was played back then, 5'8.5" might have got you killed. But you fast forward 20 years later, and instead of playing this much in the National Hockey League, and I hope I'm not making you blush, Boof. He would have played 20 years in the National Hockey League. And I look at a guy like Reggie Bush today. Reggie Bush would be insane in today's NFL.
He would.
Insane.
But he would need a partner in crime, so to speak. He would need Latavius
he had a partner
Murray.
in crime. He had a partner in crime.
Yes. But
he had a partner in crime.
I'm not saying he didn't. But in today's game, it's much more important.
Yeah.
It's significantly more important that, like, when you look at how many bell cow runners are there, like, in the NFL right now? Derrick Henry?
Derrick
Henry.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
And smart teams take players like you with your skill set and say, get you in space, let you make guys miss, run through tackles, and just get first downs for us. Where, back to the Javonte Williams thing, the thing about, I mean, you're explaining it better than I can as far as the difficulty of bringing in a first-year player and saying, go ahead and play on third downs. Well, good luck. Some of that's going to be a problem. But the thing that's nice about him is that you don't really need him to play on third downs because you have DeAndre Swift. He's one of those guys where you're turning the ball and handing it off to him on first and second down because he's going to get yards for you because he's going to go forward. You know, and there are no issues with physicality or running in between the tackles inside the box. He's one of those guys where as he figures out what the passing game can bring him and what he can do for a team, you can hand the ball off to him. He can be effective for you. But, I think some of it is that you have to reduce the amount of physical touches that a running back who's more of an explosive in-space player.
1,000.
You got to reduce those touches and let him make plays in space. And with Reggie Bush, I don't remember – and it's tough to go back to back then and figure out what offenses were doing. But I don't know that he was utilized in space the way he could have been.
You know what? We had somebody come in. I couldn't think because he was hurt this year, but Saquon.
Yeah.
Saquon.
Yeah.
Can I give him credit?
McCaffrey?
I'm going to give him credit. From day one, you were worried about him going to New York. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And do you know why he was worried about him going to New York?
They're going to run him.
They're going to run him to death, and they're going to wear him into the ground because they don't have anything else there.
Nope.
And you know what's happened over the course of the last couple of years? They've run him to death to the point of he's getting banged up.
He's fun to watch.
There's so much wear and tear on him already. It's amazing.
You know, it's crazy because what you just said about the wear and tear about running backs, we want to run the ball. We don't want to be ran into the ground. We don't want 30 carries a game or 26 carries a game. We don't for 16 games throughout the season. We don't want that, right? And so part of my decision on coming to Detroit to play here was based on just that. It was either Denver. I said they didn't have a quarterback who can throw. They had Tebow, so they were going to run me to death.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to the Vikings because they had AP. I was never going to see the field. And then it was Detroit. And I chose to come out to Detroit because I know we had other weapons on offense, and I can make an impact. I would make a big enough impact to the point to where I can be on the team and still have success. And so that was one of the main reasons that I was able to come back to Detroit. And then I was also from here, so it felt good.
Well, and I think what you did is minimize the ability for Reggie Bush to get touches in Detroit because there were times where they preferred to throw you the ball to you on third down.
Yeah,
they just did.
Yeah, I had a couple plays to where they were designed for me, for my skill set, and then he had plays that were designed for him and his skill set. So I think the Lions in 2013 did a great job with putting me and Reggie in predicaments to where we can be successful.
Yeah.
And that's why we were able to do what we were able to do.
Can I give you an example? I'm going to tie it to your collegiate career.
Yeah.
In 2009, you were going to get the ball 1,588 times. I mean, that's just the way it is, okay?
But we wasn't going to win like that.
But 2 years later, and I remember talking to your coach about this, there were days and there were defenses where it was going to be a Josh Rennell day, and there were the next week it might be a Tony Davis day. where depending on what that defense is, what they bring to the table, Josh, I would put it like this: it was 1A and 1B, okay, and more often than not, Josh played the role of 1A and 1B, but then there was one magical day where it snowed constantly for a day, and it was more snow than I've ever seen in my life, where Coach Winter sat back and said, "This is a Tony Davis day." And he set a Wayne State record for rush yards. Yeah. And it was that's just the way it was.
327.
And then guess what? The next week, it was Josh Rennell. All right, what Josh Rennell brings to the table is going to work for us this week. Yeah. And that's, you're seeing that, obviously in the National Football League left and right. Listen, we have one more break to take. I want to tell you, football has come to an end. If you're like me, you're probably sitting back, what's next? That's why I like my bookie, because no matter the sport or season, you can always win big now. Non-stop action, 365 days a year. Choose from thousands of lines, NBA, NHL, UFC, and more. The winning never ends when you play at MyBookie. They truly have something for everybody, and absolutely nobody does prop bets like MyBookie. You can get action in on everything from celebrity divorce to the winner of the All-Valley Karate Tournament. Yeah, you can really bet on that. March Madness just around the corner, so build your bankroll. Do yourself a favor, get a head start, sign up today with promo code Woodward, and get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000. That's free cash that is credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. The best part is you always have access to the action, whether you're at home or on the go. Visit mybookie.ag today and use promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. But you have to use promo code Woodward, all right? Bet, win, get paid at MyBookie. More with Scott Bischoff next.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hi. How are you? Fantastic, then. So you're going to hear a lot of this stuff, see a lot of this stuff, potential trade deals and everything, because, right now as we sit here, excuse me, and again, it's February 10th or whatever it is.
It's early.
It's still so early. We don't know what the board's going to look like. We don't know how the quarterbacks are going to go. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for a month, and Scott, I don't know if you agree, you're going to see 3 quarterbacks go before the lines. I'm convinced of it as I sit here today. You're going to see 3 quarterbacks go before the lines.
Yeah, it's a reasonable thing to think with the teams in front of them, and the Wentz trade will kind of bring maybe another player in the mix there if Wentz does get moved. Philly's going to be, I would think, in the market.
How much value does Wentz have right now?
I have no idea.
Because I'm telling you what, Joik, this goes back to what we were talking about. If I looked at Carson Wentz, even if I loved him, I would lie through my teeth to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Lie through my even if I said, Carson Wentz is the guy. Are you kidding me? This is exactly what my franchise needs. Philly, baby.
You really need to move on.
You want to pawn off Carson Wentz?
It's money.
All right, I'll give you a 3rd round pick. I'd lie through my teeth. Because what does his value look like? Now, that doesn't mean that Carson Wentz still can't get it done. People forget, this is a guy a couple years ago that was having an MVP season until he got hurt, really and truly. But I'm going to use that against not only him, and it's unfair, but that's the business. You know it better than anybody. Not only am I going to use that against him, but I'm going to use it against Philly. He hasn't been the same since the knee injury. You want me to take a chance on him? Where deep down inside I'm going, oh, baby, Carson Wentz is exactly what I need.
So would you rather have Carson Wentz here than Jared Goff?
That's a tough one.
I don't like some of the Carson Wentz stuff that went on when it came to Hurts and his and how he managed himself. And again, this is an outsider's perspective, but if that kind of stuff bothers you to the point where you don't want to be a part of that franchise anymore, it's alarming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, in bringing it to Goff, if you're drafting a rookie quarterback, let's say they take Trey Lance 7th overall, the Lions do, and that bothers Goff, that's a problem. He's not the guy if that's the case. Beat him out. You know what I mean? If Wentz was, if it alarmed him so much and bothered him so much that they drafted Hurts and wanted to play him, play better. I think there's some of that where it's like, is he really the guy? Is he the guy going forward?
I mean, Jared Goff has got to hear what a lot of people like me are saying around here. I don't expect Jared Goff to be here in 2 years. I don't. I don't expect him to be here. Now, he's got an opportunity, and trust me when I say this. Scott, you've known me long enough, and Joik, I hope you know, if Jared Goff goes out and performs well, I will be the first person to say, oh, I missed on this guy. And I always say it's not the first time I was wrong, and it won't be the last time I was wrong. If Goff goes out and looks like the Jared Goff of a couple years ago, well, then I'm just a liar if I don't say that. Look what this guy's doing. Look what he's doing in these circumstances. Now, do I expect that to happen? I don't. But if that happens, I'm not doing my job, and I take my job seriously. I'm not doing my job if I don't say, holy crap, Jared Goff is, wow. There's a lot left on this guy. Maybe we should look at this guy as the quarterback of the future. I don't think those are words that are ever coming out of my mouth. I got to be honest with you.
You would never say that.
I would say that if he played well.
Don't even think that.
1,000% I would say that if he played well. I would. I'm not doing my job. If he goes out there and looks like the guy that took them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, don't we have to say, hey, you look like the guy that took them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago? You have to do your job.
Yeah. You do your job.
You do.
So you think this can be the guy for us in 3 years?
Jared Goff, absolutely not.
Jared Goff,
absolutely not. No.
Even the year that they went to the Super Bowl, you don't.
If he plays like that, then I have to say, wow, he played like that. Maybe this guy is the guy
consistently.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. You're right. You have to.
Yeah.
If he puts together 2 seasons in that neighborhood for a less than team, where you look at those numbers and you go, whoa, don't you have to have that conversation in 2 years? I don't think we're going to have that conversation, but to me,
I think you
have
need to have that conversation before 2 years.
Of course,
right?
Course.
It's a year to year, or even month
after this first year we see.
Yes,
he can play this first year, and you can know, okay, we're moving on.
I think so. I think so.
And so next year,
opportunity to do that.
So next year we have those 3 first-round draft picks.
If we make that deal, don't get me.
We have 3 first-round draft picks.
Where's Steve and his eggplants? Because I got 7 eggplants right now, baby.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, 3. We're bringing in 3 guys. A quarterback is going to be in that. We might not draft a quarterback this year. It might be a similar situation to where we picked up Calvin Johnson, and then the following year we went out and got Stafford.
Yeah,
it might be a year where we get
Yeah, but you're getting you'd have pick 19 this year. You would have quarterback next year, 2 first-round picks. You'd have 2 third-round picks this year that you picked up.
8 eggplants.
You'd really have to.
You hear me? Bring them on over here to Motown, to the city
come
on over to the Motown. Speaking of Motown, today we have Black History Month, and
that's well done.
Such a pro. Eggplants and all.
You're aroused by that. Anyway, speaking of Motown, today, Black History, we're going to do the birth of hip-hop. All right? The birth of hip-hop. And
Livonia, right? Isn't that where it was born?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. So
I don't think so.
So it's funny, man. You guys enjoy it? Love it. No, it's not. It's the birth of hip-hop, not loving hip-hop. So you guys understand that. All right. Thanks for tuning into the Baligian and Bell show. Catch you guys tomorrow. Gang, gang.
In August 1973, a young Jamaican-born New Yorker known as DJ Koolherc threw a party in the South Bronx. With a pair of turntables, he improvised a technique that isolated and repeated musical breaks That technique would lay the foundation for a genre known as hip-hop. Hip-hop music emerged from house parties in the Bronx and spread like wildfire between friends and neighbors at block parties. The new sound was electrifying.
In the schoolyard during recess, someone would have a boombox, and then someone would start rhyming. You didn't have recorded versions of hip-hop at that time.
Within a few years, it had become an underground cultural movement, and its distribution was homemade.
You couldn't purchase albums or records, and you couldn't hear hip-hop on the radio. The only way that you could participate in the culture musically was through these cassette tapes, which would circulate all throughout the city.
As its influence deepened and broadened, the music spread from the underground onto the radio. In 1979, a group from suburban New Jersey released Rapper's Delight, one of the first hip-hop records.
Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet.
And the Sugar Hill Gang's hit was just the beginning. As hip-hop evolved, it became a passion shared by millions of young Americans who used it to articulate their identity and their politics, creating a vibrant, multicultural community across the country.
Our generation of young people, we had to find new ways to communicate, just getting on the records and speaking about the truth.
Its lyrics reflected the social and economic conditions of the inner cities as seen through the eyes of the people who lived there.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Say what? It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
I think it was Chuck D who said, it's the CNN of the black community. It's actually reporting on all of these things that we've experienced in poetry form and musical form.
In 2017, hip-hop surpassed rock as America's #1 stream genre for the first time ever. Decades after its birth, hip-hop has grown from its underground origins in the Bronx to become one of the most popular genres of music throughout the world.